Hey, good morning, everybody. It's May 30th, 2023. And just wanted to pop on here and let y'all know about an interesting time I had yesterday. I'll just say this, South Dakota weather is pretty unpredictable. So, I always hear about, oh, we get a lot of hail. Well, every time, the sky's green, indicates there could be hail. It never hails, so I was thinking, okay, well, I'll take the dogs to the park, Memorial Day, whatever. I had a late run over the weekend, 2 late runs over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, so I didn't get off till like 1 or 2 in the morning. So, one late run puts you into another late run, and before you know it, you're up at 3 or 4 in the morning, sleeping in the next day. So I take the dogs to the dog park, and of course the sky was black and gray. It looked as if it was gonna storm. I thought, man, it's just gonna rain, whatever, it'll be a story, I don't really care. If we get wet, we get wet. The sky wasn't, too green. Just had a little bit of tint, as I was driving in. I was like, oh, it's green. There could be hail in there, but I've seen that before. Never know hail. So I get out there, and we get halfway down the track, and it's about a mile loop, and it's like an off dog leash park or whatever. And I get about halfway down there, and it starts to pour. And I've just got my keys on me, and I got 2 leashes in my hand because I take them off the leash. So it starts to rain, oh, haha, and literally halfway around the track, it starts to hail bad. And when I tell you bad, like really like a large amount of a little bit larger than pea-sized hail, enough to, you want to block your head, because you're like, you don't want one to be really big and just, knock you unconscious. So we get halfway around the track, and we just sprint to these these trees. So I get the dogs underneath there. There's people outside like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So I just hide out underneath the trees, and so until it kind of dies off a little bit, of course, right? So I get back out and I start running. At this point, I'm soaking wet. My shoes are soaked. The dogs are like, what is going on? Because like the hail is like still hitting us through the trees, It's like a bush tree, a pretty tall bush tree. So, after a while, as it gets saturated with water, the hail is still kind of coming down. And like the hail is like freezing on their backs, because it's still just dropping on us. So I'm soaked to the T. I'm just kind of laughing, but I'm kind of, I'm sore a little bit because I was running. So, my calves are sore, and I'm squatting down, and I'm just pouring water, just pouring on me. So I take off my shirt when we take off running, and like for the truck. Well, it gets worse, and probably like really bad, like to where I was like, holy shit, what am I gonna do, right? And I was like, there's nothing, there's nothing, there's no trees, there's no nothing. So there's a park bench. So there's like a regular little like old-fashioned bench. So I dive underneath the bench. I get the dogs, they're trying to they're like, what's going on? Why is he underneath? So I grab the dogs. So, it comes down pretty hard still. And I was like, dang, so I'm under there for about 5 or 6 minutes. And then finally it dies off to where it's not as thick. And I get up and I'm like, all right, so I'm about 150 yards to the truck in the parking lot. And there's like a roundabout where you can take the walking path, And I was like, no, I'm going to cut through. I'm going to save, I don't know, 35 seconds, whatever. Because I just want to hurry up and get, in shelter, So I run, and it's like a little river path. And of course it's flooded, because it's raining and the hail. So we have to run through this river, and I don't even care, at this point, because, my shoes are soaked, whatever. I didn't even care. I was just like, boom. So I'm running and it's freezing because all the hail. So my feet are frozen. They're like going numb, you know. It's like ice, you know, obviously, right? The dogs are having fun. They're like, yeah, yeah, you know, just dancing around, you know, doing circles, you know, spinning. And I'm just like, come on, let's go. They're almost tripping me as I'm running through the puddle. And I drop my keys. I drop my effing keys. House key, car key, truck keys, camper topper, you know, like a topper to the bed, everything. And so I get there and I just almost fell out. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me right now? You know, because I didn't know if it was going to keep hailing again. Of course, I could probably get to a structure, you know, in the park or whatever, but I was like, no freaking way. So I sit out there, my feet are numb. I sit next to my truck because, you know, of course, I'm thinking that it's locked. So I sit out there with my socks off. My feet are like just like frostbit, almost frostbit at this point. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I try to walk back and see if I can find them, but the water is just too cold on my feet. Like I could not like walk through and search for the keys. You know, I tried to like move my hand. I was like, I can't do this. It's just too cold. So I go to my truck and I'm like, oh, you know what? My phone, everything is in the truck, you know, locked up, presumably locked up. And I go over there and I yell, hey Siri, hey Siri. You know, I was gonna have her, you know, text my girlfriend. And I look over and it's unlocked. So I was like, oh crap, wow, okay. So of course, you know, I go on the other side, I get in, I text, she's calling me, she's worried, you know, because she knows it's hailing, you know, we're in the same city. So she sees, you know, and then I'm not answering, so she's like, what the heck? So she knew something was up. And of course I call her, tell her to come get me. I call a locksmith. The locksmith is like $300, and on Memorial Day, you know, it was like closer to 300. It would normally be like 200 because it's just a remote chip key. It's not, or it's a standard ignition chip key versus whatever, keyless entry. So I have her come pick me up. The dogs are soaked. They smell like wet dog, of course. It's, you know, luckily she was at work, so she was able to clock out, come get me. So I take her back home, and then the locksmith says, you know, he's going to be about 45 minutes. He has to go back to the shop and get some tools or whatever. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And so I'm just like, man, whatever. This sucks, you know, because I know they're in the water. So of course I go back. I take her home, drop the dogs off. You know, I go back and I retrace my steps. I talk to people that were on the trail. Hey, did y'all see any keys? Blah blah blah. You know, I feel real dumb. But of course I had them on a carabiner, and I clipped the carabiner to my shorts. That, you know, because when they're in the pocket, you know, they just bounce around. So I wanted to clip them. Well, yeah, didn't work out that way. Just with the amount of shock on it, just they, you know, there's so many keys on there, just boom, it just kind of broke off. So, of course, I go back, no luck, and then I walked all the way around the trail, pretty much. And then, you know, at this time, the water has receded, and I walked all the way, and probably like, I don't know, 25 yards to the parking lot. There they were. Man, I never felt so relief. You know, just, you know, $300, whatever. It's just the principle of like, damn it, really? You know, and it's such a nice area. I could have left everything unlocked. Of course, I did leave it unlocked on accident because I was getting the dogs out. But, you know, it's a good side of town. You know, it's Memorial Day. It's a storm. Not a lot of people are out there. And plus, it's a really good city. Low crime rate, especially in a park, you know. So, saved $300. Oh, yeah, the most funniest thing. So I got pelted. So it looks like I went and had a round of paintball. Looks like I had, it looks like I got shot up all of my ribs. You know, that was, and then on my back, my shoulders. yeah, it was bad. I just thought it was kind of weird, but I guess the way it was coming down when I was running, because I had my hands up over and put in my shirt. I had an Under Armour dry fit on, so I had that up, running, and I guess it was just like pelting my side. So yeah, 10 minutes, long story, whatever. Yeah, South Dakota is very unpredictable, very stormy. They say, I didn't realize this, but I heard this from my girlfriend. So yeah, rain salt. No, I'm just kidding. But this is a start of Tornado Alley. I didn't even realize. Of course, I'm from North Texas, so we're right there, Oklahoma, boom, and it kind of ends in like northern Louisiana, I believe, or like it cuts through Arkansas and then ends, I believe, at the northern part of Louisiana. Don't quote me on it, but so we're in Tornado Alley. That is the reason why. But it's beautiful though, it's beautiful storms. I was in Florida, storms are just, rain showers for 10 minutes. North Texas, you get hail every maybe twice, not even. I mean, you get hail very sporadic, usually like in farmland and in the middle of nowhere. But as far as like over a population, you usually don't get it. That's why here it's very low population. So, it comes across the Black Hills. Usually I've noticed the storms really die out a little bit, unless they're massive cells. Then they'll come through the Black Hills and they'll lose a little bit of power, I believe. They lose a little bit of strength, and then they kind of come across, the valley, I guess you would call it. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's pretty cool out here. I love the landscape. I love it right now because it's summer. Wait till winter. I mean, it's not going to be North Dakota weather, so it's not terrible. It's 30 degrees warmer. South Dakota is habitable. It's not terrible. So yeah, I love it here. Just want to kick out a little video and let you guys know how I got stuck in a hailstorm and got pelted, which it's cool. Yeah, do I feel kind of stupid? Yeah. Did she think I was an idiot? Yeah. Did she take pictures and photograph it? Yeah. Probably sent to her mother. But it's whatever. Of course, luckily there was shelter. Obviously it wasn't larger, because if it had been any bigger, I mean, we would have been, in trouble. But this was a little bit larger. It's probably about double pea size, so it was pretty gnarly. But yeah. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, like. Thank y'all for liking the last video. I'll just keep probably do it every week, since I'm going on these 4-hour runs one way. So normally I'm running about 8 to 10 hours a day, and then you've got loading in the morning if I'm going to get pellets, eco pellets, or so if I go to the forest product, the pellet meal, then of course I'm gonna be loading up for like pretty much 2 hours, depending on if they're busy or not, and then I've got to run all the way to Wyoming. So it's I got a lot of free time, especially to kick out random videos, give y'all some content, yeah, and grow the channel a little bit, yeah, and document my life and my journey. So I appreciate y'all for watching, and thank y'all. Y'all have a good day. Ciao.